I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delving into a wonderful book called Warrior, Queen, Scientist, Activist, Gritty Women Who Bent the Arc of History by Jan-benedict Steenkamp. This book celebrates 25 remarkable women whose decisions at pivotal moments reshaped the world, from wielding swords to seizing political power and challenging societal norms. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his important book. The links are below this interview. JB, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
It's a great honor to be on your show, Logan.
The honor is all mine, my friend. What inspired you to explore and share the stories of these remarkable women?
Well, I'm a student of history, and when you look at the history books, easily 90 to 95% of the pages in history books are about men and about the deeds of great and not so great men. So I kind of wondered, did women actually contribute so little? That wasn't actually my understanding of history, but very little is written about women. And I thought, okay, let me try to rectify this situation at least a little bit by writing a book on 25 great women. I could have easily added more, but 25 seemed like a good beginning.
25 is a good number, that's for sure. Now, Out of the 25, is there one story that really struck you, one person who you feel like might be at the head of the list?
Well, I think that depends a little bit on the person in question. So I will answer it for me personally. Right. There is one person who has had the greatest influence of any post-Second World War leader on my thinking, and that is a British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. When she came to power, I was undergraduate student, graduate student. So think about the formative years of one's life. And I was keenly aware of the fact that Britain at the time was the sick man of Europe, and that she almost single-handedly kind of changed society there and pulled Britain up and gave it its rightful place in the leadership of nations. And I was well aware of the fact that a long line of male predecessors actually failed. So for me, she is personally has been much of a role model in my personal life.
Yeah, and she came about at the time when a very strong American president was rising as well. And she was able to be just as strong and just as forceful in dealing with the issues that the world was dealing with in the 1980s. So Margaret Thatcher, I agree, is a very, very outstanding woman. Let's talk about some of the other women who are on your list. Who are some of the other women that our readers will meet?
Readers will meet women from different parts of life and different continents. For example, they will meet Virginia Hall, who was a spy, an American spy in the Second World War. She operated in France. She had lost part of one leg. So she was actually, in those days, she would be essentially called as, you can't do anything. She was actually spying under the greatest possible dangers, and due to her actions, many lives have been saved of American soldiers, and has really helped the Allied cause. Another favorite of mine is a person that is perhaps a little less known, is the Angolan Queen Ginga. And she fought the Portuguese invaders in the 17th century through a mind-boggling set of activities, and ultimately succeeded where everybody else would have given up. But she had a protean skill to change what she had to do to be successful. These are two examples. I will add a third example. That is the Spanish Queen Isabella, the architect of the Spanish unification and the reconquest of Granada, and also the person who sponsored Columbus. And, for better or for worse, Columbus's voyages changed the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How did you select the 25 women who are in your book?
I tried to, I applied a set of criteria. And one of the criteria was that I wanted to show impactful women across time. So I'm talking about the dawn of civilization to the present day. A second element was that I wanted to show it across geography. So I have women from the Americas, from the Middle East, Europe, Asia, Africa. So to show that. And I also wanted to show them across different ethnicities. And I did that with one overriding goal. That is to show that the ubiquity of impactful women across time, space, and ethnicity. It is not an isolated phenomenon. It is a phenomenon that we see around the world. We just have to look for it and we have to be open to it.
Yeah. We hear the expression a lot, the right man at the right time. You have
Yeah.
found 25 of the right women who rose to power or ascended at the right time. Um, Tell us what you think their most significant impact is on our world.
On the present world, I think the most significant impact is the inspiration that we get from these women. Those were women of flesh and blood. Those were not saints or supernatural people. They had their vices, they had their strengths, just as we have. But they all were faced with severe, significant challenges, and they did not run away, but they tackled them, they overcame them, and they changed the world in the process. Now, that is something, if we look at our own lives, women and men, you have your challenges, I suspect. I have my challenges. Everybody has their challenges. We can essentially get inspiration from them because they had actually far greater challenges than we. And we often, as humans, we work by looking at other people and get inspiration. And we can also get inspiration from their grit.
Yeah. And they were oppressed as a group also. So it was, they had extra challenges to confront as well as they reshaped the world. Tell us, when you were doing your research, when you were doing your writing, was there a discovery that truly surprised you? Was there something that was like, wow, I had no idea about that? Something that really struck you?
Yes, uh, great question. When I started to write this book, I thought, because that was based on some psychological research, that for women to be successful, they had to have certain what's called communal qualities. To have empathy, to have high emotional intelligence, to be sociable, to be kind of the softer side, etc. And of course, there are people that have that, obviously. But what I found is that while some of the women had some of that, other women did not have it at all. That is actually not a common thread for women to be successful. Something that I also see and discuss with my own MBA students in my courses. What I found is that all those women had one thing in common, and that is they all had grit. That is the, the, the willingness to focus on success and to overcome obstacles, overcome challenges, overcome setbacks in the pursuit of reaching their goals. That is something that they had and that we can also have.
Wonderful. I think you've actually put together now a outline for a documentary. I mean, I think you could take these 25 women and each one of their stories following your script would be a very compelling episode, don't you think?
I think I like it. Yes, it is a
Yeah.
great idea, and some people have suggested it to me. Yes.
Yep. Okay. So Hollywood, if you're listening, there's a documentary here that JB has ready to go. Are you working on any new writings right now, sir?
I'm working on a new book, and that is what I do with a colleague, and it is going to be Stamina in War. Why some societies persevere against overwhelming odds and incurring tremendous losses. This is early in the process, but that is what I'm currently working on.
Wonderful, wonderful. It sounds exciting, sounds intriguing, much like this book, which is called Warrior, Queen, Scientist, Activist, Gritty Women Who Bent the Arc of History by Jan-benedict Steenkamp. It's a remarkable book. It contains and celebrates 25 wonderful women whose decisions at pivotal moments, whose actions at crucial moments reshaped the world as we know it and opened up a world of opportunity to women and others as well. Jan, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
It was an honor to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time.
The honor is all mine, sir. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.